Hey everyone, in this ever-growing market of handheld gaming PCs, Intel is trying to climb up the ladder with the latest Claw handheld, MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. I don't know why companies keep choosing strange names. This is MSI's second take on the gaming handheld PCs. Today, I'm here to share my experience and see if it's still worth the cash after 3 months. Let's get right into it. It features an Intel processor Ultra 7 258V, an 8-inch 120Hz IPS display which is VRR capable. The display has 500 nits and is good bright, and a stellar 80Wh battery that charges at 65 watts. Charger is included in the box. There are two USB-C 4.0 ports. The MSI Claw runs on Windows 11, which offers a familiar PC gaming ecosystem. This means you can have access to your existing game libraries from Steam, Xbox Game Pass, Epic Store, and more. MSI has also included their own software layer, often accessible via dedicated button. This software allows you to set the TDP, access games, open different storefronts, or you can even see some of the performance metrics using Xbox Game Bar. Navigating the Windows interface with a controller can sometimes be a bit clunky, but MSI's software aims to streamline the experience. I found it to be less evolved than its competitors. It's quite clunky and you feel the choppiness while navigating through it. Overall, the software experience is a blend of the flexibility of the Windows with MSI's attempt to optimize it for a gaming handheld. It's not anything revolutionary, and mostly I avoided using it, unless I really needed it. After setting up the handheld, I mostly used Steam's Big Picture mode, as that provides console-like experience. And what about the sound? The Claw 8 is equipped with 2x 2-watt speakers. They are front-firing speakers and the audio quality is really nice. Once gaming, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to the sound that they produced. They are loud and clear. Although I'm no audiophile and it is still subjective, but I think they sounded better than the ones on the Ally X. I have no complaints about the speakers. They produce very nice sound. Now, let's talk about the window to your gaming world, the display. The MSI Claw features an 8-inch 1200p display. It's an IPS panel with a 120Hz refresh rate. The screen is the star of the show. It's a very high quality display, and on this display I really enjoyed playing different games. As it's an 8-inch display, you just see games more on the screen, and it makes it easy to navigate through games. Somehow, playing on the big screen makes the games more enjoyable. It's a sharp display that I can use every day. I do have one little problem with the display. The display has a very thin glass layer. Once you tap on the screen, it bends towards inside. Although you must press a bit hard to see this effect, but I saw it quite often while I was using the Claw 8. Moving past that, it's a sharp and a vibrant display. The Claw 8 features same layout as the original Claw, even the same RGB lights. You'll find the familiar dual analog sticks, responsive D-pad, and the standard ABXY face buttons, all thoughtfully placed for comfortable reach during extended gameplays. Flanking the screen are dedicated buttons for accessing the MSI Center M interface, quickly pulling up the keyboard and the navigating menus. On the shoulders, you've got precise analog triggers and tactile bumper buttons, plus good positioned macro buttons on the rear provides customizable shortcuts, giving you a competitive edge. The shoulder buttons and the triggers feel very nice to use. They have a soft click to them, and I really enjoyed these shoulder buttons and triggers. Although Claw 8 has larger bumpers and triggers, your fingers wrap around them easily, making them very easy and comfortable to use. Coming to the joysticks, they felt too loose to me. If you apply a little bit pressure on them, they move too freely. In my opinion, they are too loose and proper resistance is missing. I'm also not a fan of the D-pad as it's very clicky and very stiff. Overall, the controls are good and you can use them for longer gameplay. Picking up the Claw for the first time, you immediately notice the device is heavier than its competitors. But this did not make the experience more tiring. It only weighs 795 grams. However, once I switched back to a lighter handheld console, I immediately felt the benefits of playing on the lighter console. It's just better. Claw 8 sits well in the hands and the grip is very nice. The MSI Claw 8 appears to prioritize comfortable handling for extended gaming sessions. featuring ergonomic grips that are designed to fit well in the hands, similar to modern game controllers. It has a well-balanced weight distribution, which contributes to comfortable play. While the back of the device has indentations that some users may find less pleasant compared to the other handhelds. It is ergonomically designed and is very easy to use during the longer gaming sessions. All buttons like the bumper, trigger and macro buttons are very well placed and easy to reach. I did not find myself struggling to reach any of the bumpers, triggers or the macro buttons situated at the back. Battery life is always a crucial factor for portable gaming devices. The MSI Claw 8 packs an 80 Wh battery, just like the Ally X. Intel's 258V is a mighty efficient processor. It balances power and battery life superbly. This allows for impressive gaming endurance. In less demanding indie titles, users can expect upwards of 4 hours of gameplay, while even AAA games can typically achieve over 2 hours on a single charge. This represents a notable improvement over the original Claw and positions it high on the list in terms of longevity, offering users more extended gaming sessions on the go. I haven't seen this kind of efficient processor in a handheld before. This processor is really efficient. Outside of gaming, once I was downloading the games or if I left the console on, the battery went slowly down, as if it was static. I was really surprised by this. For reference, Ally X has a similar battery time with the same battery capacity and a smaller display. But given the larger display and the tad bit more powerful CPU, achieving this battery time is nothing ordinary. In my opinion, this handle is the king of battery life. The inclusion of fast charging support also ensures that users can quickly recharge the battery in around 1.5 hours, given that the device is in sleep mode. If it's on, it will take 2.5 hours to charge. Under the hood, the MSI Claw is powered by an Intel Ultra processor, the Ultra 7 258V. This is the only Intel gaming handheld, as the rest of them stick with AMD's processor, a key difference from some of its competitors. Let's see how the Intel chip performs in AAA titles. Let's start with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was released a while back, but it still provides proper benchmarking tools. I tested it on 1080p resolution and FSR, and I left the Intel profile to AI, as I wanted to see how the games perform if you just leave the TDP set to AI and don't tinker with it. Cyberpunk performed really well and got 43 frames per second, which is very respectable. You can dial down the graphics or resolution in order to achieve a higher frame rate. Moving on to Wukong. Wukong also performed well on this device on 30 watts. Wukong gave the original Steam Deck cold sweats, as it's a graphically demanding game. You can play Wukong on average 48 frames per second on 1200p and low settings. If you want to achieve a higher frame rate, then you can turn on frame gen and lower the resolution, as FSR is already on. Last game on the list is Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's just been released. It's a very demanding game, so only 30 watt TDP makes sense for this game. After testing it on 1200p, it only managed a 27 frames per second average, which is a bit unplayable to me. I dropped the resolution to 800p, then the FPS hovered around 35 frames per second, which I can live with. As you can see, performance varies depending on the title and settings. You can play lighter games on the Claw 8 without any issues. The more graphically intense games require you to dial down the settings to achieve a playable frame rate. Alright, let's break down the key pros and cons I've experienced with the MSI Claw. It's super efficient and powerful Intel processor, comfortable to use, large screen, and a great battery time. The not so good stuff, it's not very portable. Charges at only 65 watts. Some games do see FPS gain over AMD, but some don't. It's not competitively priced. So, where does the MSI Claw stand in the crowded handheld gaming market? It brings a unique offering with its Intel processor and access to the full Windows ecosystem. Ultimately, the MSI Claw is a solid contender, but its price is a bit of letdown as it costs more than the Ally X, but the performance gains aren't that much. It will likely appeal to gamers who value gaming on a larger display, The Claw 8 features a great display that is combined with a great battery life, while making no compromises on the performance. It can handle all the latest released AAA games. If you are looking to buy a new handheld with a larger display and not willing to wait for the next gen Z2 Extreme, you can go for the MSI Claw 8. Although a wiser option would be to go with a cheaper handheld like the original Ally or Steam Deck to save cash for the next gen hardware. If you already own a handheld console, then you should definitely wait. That's my take on the MSI Claw 8. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe.